Hello, 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 hello.
Hello? It's me? I'm in California dreaming?
Is that Kevin or
It
Cookie
wasn't
Monster?
at first it was just me going, hello? And then it became half Kevin, half Cookie Monster by accident. We in.
Right into it.
We in. I pace my intro to throw you off sometimes.
Yeah?
I don't let you. I got to keep you on your toes.
I don't know how much I could really get thrown off.
I don't know.
You know?
I can usually get some kind of reaction out of you. Something.
It may be.
Sometimes I'll sit here and I'll be like, Hey everybody, welcome to the Chris and Kyle show. He's Chris, I am Kyle. This is spoilers. Mission Impossible Fallout. Yeah. Which you hadn't seen in theaters, right? You just saw it for the first time?
Yeah, I just saw Fallout for the first time, and I hadn't seen Rogue Nation. This is like, it kind of tripped me out when I was looking at, like, I had to look up the Mission Impossibles to see, like, which ones I hadn't seen.
Yeah.
And I had seen all of them up until Ghost Protocol.
Which was
And
5?
I didn't realize that fucking Ghost Protocol came out in 2011.
Yeah.
I was like,
There's a gap. It was 2011 and then 2015.
but that's kind of, if you look at the, I don't know, the years released of like all of these Mission Impossible movies,
Mm-hmm.
that all of them kind of come out like 4 to 5 years, even 6 years apart.
Yeah.
Since fucking 96 or whatever.
Yeah.
When
Except
the first
Ghost
one came out.
Protocol and Fallout, I think, are like 2 or 3 years apart. And they're filming 7 and 8 back to back.
Right.
Which
They're supposed to come
we're
out
gonna go on a
year by year.
We're gonna talk later in this episode because I want to talk about it, about how Mission Impossible is in this group of weird action franchises that had resurgences like halfway through their existence and now are thriving again. Like this Mission Impossible. I mean, this is Mission Impossible. Fast and Furious. I even want to incorporate talking about like the James Bond franchise and even the Bourne movies a little bit because they're just all in this category to me, and I think it's interesting.
What do you think a resurgence is?
Well, Mission Impossible and Fast and Furious franchises had resurgences in terms of they started making better movies and or movies that did better in the box office.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the Fast and Furious movies went from being car race movies to being superhero movies,
Right.
and started making insane money and making.
They adapted for sure, but I feel like they were always kind of popular. You know, like
They were always pretty popular.
Yeah, they didn't make the kind of money that.
But
they
like,
do
I don't
now.
think that like Tokyo Drift was super popular,
Well,
and
that's
it's not good.
But that's also like a weird side fucking
Yeah,
Fast and
so
Furious.
is Hobbs and Shaw, and it fucking made big buku bucks.
Yeah,
but The Rock's in it.
Do you know the main actor in Tokyo Drift?
Yeah, that dude that does that horrible accent
Yeah.
throughout the whole movie.
But do you know his name? Everyone knows.
I
who The
know
Rock
that
is.
he was in a football movie as well. He played a quarterback.
Everyone knows who The Rock is.
That's true.
You know, even Jason.
Isn't like
Jason?
isn't
Statham?
Bow Wow in Tokyo Drift or
Yeah.
one of those
Bow Wow.
kid rappers from the '90s? Make me like Mike.
Vin Diesel's there at like the very.
Yeah,
end.
he's like a cameo basically.
We're not here to talk about Fast.
We're
and
going
Furious.
to. We're going to talk
Yeah.
about all of them, but let's talk about the movie first. Mission Impossible Fallout, the 6th entry in the Mission Impossible
Did you have
series.
to think about that?
Tom Cruise was 54, I think, when it came out. He's 57 right now.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise is 57. You know, like, if that's what being a Scientologist does to you, you look like that, you can sprint like that at 57, I'd consider it.
Mm-hmm.
I'd consider converting. Not really. That's insane. Anyway, what'd you think of it? Do you enjoy it?
Did I like Mission Impossible Fallout?
Mm-hmm.
I liked it. I think
Listen.
people. Okay.
I think it's awesome.
Yeah.
It's an awesome movie. It is, in terms of like online ratings, the best Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, it is, and I would probably agree with that. I haven't watched the first 3 Mission
long
Impossibles
time,
in
yeah.
so long.
Yeah, so I have this weird. You mentioned the other day, you were like, "Oh man, if we're gonna do Fallout, I probably have to watch the other ones first, like that I haven't seen." And I was like, honestly, you don't have to.
I'm glad that I at least watched Rogue Nation. I'm glad
Yeah.
that I did because it's connected.
Is Rogue Nation. I think Rogue Nation, Ghost Protocol, and Fallout kind of make a trilogy. They make like a decent trilogy.
And they are
there's
the
a-
highest
there's a-
rated
there's
on
a-
IMDb as
Yeah,
well.
there's
It's
a
like 7.4,
through
7.4,
like
7.8.
Lane is like a through villain kind of. You get the introduction of Rebecca Ferguson's character.
Yep.
You get kind of like they tie a knot on the loose end of Michelle Monaghan's character and sort of her relationship with Tom Cruise. Simon Pegg is obviously in them. I love Simon Pegg. He's great.
Mm-hmm.
But like in my mind, the Mission Impossible movies are basically all like Tom Cruise works for the Impossible Mission Force,
Mm-hmm.
and he has to do some crazy mission to save the world. He's kind of a loose cannon. He has his friends with him, and there's going to be cool set pieces, and they're going to do the mask trick at least once, and it's going to be fun. That's what I think of like all of the Mission Impossible movies, basically. But Fallout has like a level of I don't know what it is about. I don't know, like it's not the mystery of it that puts it up. Like one of I think the flaws of Fallout is that you knew from the trailer that Henry Cavill was a bad guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's no twist to the reveal
Mm-hmm.
of Henry Cavill being a villain.
I was gonna ask you that. I was like, well, like when did you realize? Because I don't think that I really knew it from the trailer.
No, I knew it from the trailer.
It seemed like I don't know, like Tom Cruise. I thought that the bathroom scene, the fighting scene, was
So good.
between
So good.
Tom Cruise and Henry Cavill.
No, it's not.
But it's not.
But they made it look like that in the trailer, I think.
Mhm, yeah.
They literally have a reload sound effect in the movie when he
Okay,
does his arms.
Okay.
There's
I
like
was
a
trying
there's
to
like
listen.
a
You, I think that's just his jacket, dude.
I mean,
literally
it
went
might
back.
just be his clothes, but like you hear in the trailer, there's literally beats. Like they're playing whatever music, and it's like doom doom.
Yeah.
In
yeah.
the movie, it's just like a.
Yeah.
and
It's just his jacket.
It's
though.
still ridiculous.
Like when you explained it before, I expected like machine gun loading sounds.
that would be cool.
And that's what I expected.
No,
in my head.
it's not that drastic.
But when he did that, it's like literally. I think
But
it's
like
just his.
they
jacket.
did that. That isn't just like
You don't think that's like diegetic sound? Like,
no.
you don't think
They
that's,
did
like, actually
that.
coming-
They for sure did that because people move around in fights all the time, and like you know what I mean.
Yeah, understandable.
They did that.
But like a majority of like fight
Plus,
sounds
it just
are,
looks
like,
really
are
cool.
put in there.
It just
they're
looks
not natural.
It just looks awesome. Just the way I don't know what it is. I love. There's something about Henry Cavill's character. Like Walker is kind of like he's kind of a bland character, and he's like comically evil in a way. He's like it's like a thing in action movies now. The shtick of like we need to remake the world, so we need to like destroy a population, like that kind of really over the top, ridiculous
we
mindset.
need suffering in order to have peace. is,
Exactly, like the
something that they
mom
reiterate.
from the last Godzilla movie had it. Like a bunch of characters have it. So like him as a character is whatever, but there's something about his physical presence in the movie that I love.
Mm-hmm.
He's so powerful,
Right.
and like the way he throws people around,
Yeah.
and like his punches are, and part of it is like Henry Cavill's a huge, physically built, attractive man who
Right.
played Superman in a movie. So like he can bring that to life really
yeah,
well.
it comes along with that.
Yeah.
And it's also like built up really well with Angela Bassett's line. How
Yeah.
she's like, you can use a scalpel, and I'd rather use a hammer.
Yeah,
it's
and,
a cool
and you're
line.
like Henry Cavill's the hammer. Yeah.
But
And then
I
he's like, he's got the minigun in the he's just a ridiculously like
Yeah.
forceful presence on screen.
I didn't realize that he was the bad guy until the cell phone. Like the first time. So you see in the bathroom scene, the fighting sequence, when they actually kill.
So
the pseudo John.
and the phone is
what's his-
broken. John Lark.
John Lark, when they kill the pseudo John Lark, right? And then you see Tom Cruise take the
broken
cell
phone.
a broken phone off of that dude. And then you see later on Henry Cavill giving
Angela Bassett the phone.
like the legit what is actually happening, but he tries to make
Make it look like it was Ethan. Yeah.
Hunt. I always want to say Ethan Hawke, but it's obviously not him. But he tries to make Ethan Hunt.
That's
the
when you
scapegoat.
know for sure because you're like, hey, movie.
When he hands him the cell phone, I was like,
Well-
I was like, wait, hold on.
This phone was
Tom
broken.
Cruise-
I
was
actually-
like-
I
was
caught
like,
that.
Tom Cruise took it off, and the phone was broken.
I caught that for the first time when I watched it again last night. I didn't catch that the first time, but I like already knew he was the villain kind of. And that conversation, even if you don't catch that shot, the conversation is so ridiculous. Like as an audience member, you're like, hey, movie, we know Ethan's not a bad guy. So the only like you have to work extra hard to make us believe that Henry Cavill would believe that genuinely, I think. You know what I mean?
See, I didn't like.
Maybe it's because I just already felt like it was a thing. So it was
yeah,
harder to pull.
maybe.
And I'm not saying that this like ruined the experience for me. Like I was still like drawn into the it's not a mystery. I don't know what to call it. Like the thriller aspect of it.
Yeah, I see. Like I knew right away, but I also like sort of because I wasn't 100% sure about the cell phone thing. I was like, I'm fairly certain that Tom
Well,
Cruise.
it's a subtle thing to catch.
Yeah. So I was like, I'm fairly certain that that's what happened. But like, I can also buy into the idea that because he doesn't trust Ethan, that he could believe that he's actually the bad guy. Yeah, I'm glad that I watched Rogue Nation before this. And like it was almost like the entire movie. I was like waiting for like the big action sequence because there's a lot of action
Fallout
sequences.
or Rogue Nation.
Fallout, right?
There's a bunch of them.
Well, here's the thing. Like there's a lot
some
of
awesome ones.
There's a lot of good action sequences, but they're all like the same sort of like chase sequence and fighting sequences.
So there's Tom Cruise
There's
and Henry
always
Cavill jumping
one
out of a plane.
Big one.
Yeah,
is
yeah,
what I'm
yeah.
saying. And I was waiting for the big one. I was like, all right.
Yeah,
fucking-
but like,
you got
there's a
35
bunch
minutes
of,
left.
I think, really thrilling ones in this movie. I think that's one of the strengths of the movie. Like,
I
like-
like the bathroom sequence.
Henry Cavill and Tom Cruise jumping out of the plane is cool. When he saves Henry Cavill, and then Henry Cavill's a dick about it. He does this
That's
shit.
cool.
He taps on the oxygen.
Yeah.
Looks like you lost your oxygen. I was like,
Yeah.
you fucking dick. Bathroom scene is really cool, and has become like kind of a cultural touchstone at this point. Like,
Really?
the meme worthiness, like not in a bad way. Like Henry Cavill's reloading, the throwing each other through walls and shit. It's like so ridiculous but also really cool. That's one. There's the chase scene through France, the car chase scene through France or Paris, not the entire country of France. That's like a classic middle of a Mission Impossible movie scene where Tom Cruise is driving something and running from someone.
I had a hard time buying into those scenes because I was kind of bored.
Yeah.
Yeah, like there was certain like cool stuff, but it's just like there's like every fucking Bourne Identity movie has that scene.
They all have it.
Italian Job has that scene. It's just like I don't know, like I feel like watching motorcycles and cars going through some type of European cityscape, right? It's just a scene that I've seen a lot of times.
I mean, that's true.
Yeah, and yeah, so the ones that stood out for me were the bathroom scene, just because I really like the fight choreography there.
Yeah, it's really good.
I like how you can kind of pick up the personality of each person throughout the fight sequence as well. You know, like you get the hammer, right? Like his
Henry Cavill is a hammer,
thing. And then fucking the
Lark is a cool fighting style.
pseudo
The
John
villain.
Lark, the fake John
Yeah.
Lark. The way that he fights.
Yeah, we
and
don't
shit.
know who real John Lark. Oh
No,
yes we do. Henry Cavill
Yeah,
is.
it's Henry
But
Cavill. Yeah.
It doesn't matter because it's a fake name.
IMF is a dumb name.
IMF is
That's
really
for sure.
dumb.
Impossible Mission Force. That's a dumb name.
It's a dumb name. That's like, I mean, we mentioned right before we started recording that neither of us knew that this was a TV show. I think I'll look up the dates, but like an old TV show that they readapted for the movies. And that just seems like a holdover of a TV show that was made back in the day. You know what I mean?
Right.
Mission Impossible.
The other scene that I really enjoyed was the helicopter scene. Obviously,
it's
that's
a
the
show
big
from
one.
the 60s.
That's the big one.
So it just Impossible Mission Force screams. This is something that was titled in the 60s. Yes, the helicopter stuff is awesome.
Yeah.
And you know what? I believe it. I believe Tom Cruise fucking flew that helicopter.
That's the other thing that like I really enjoy. I really enjoy Mission Impossible movies. I don't think that a Mission Impossible movie could ever be my favorite movie.
Yeah,
and
that's fine.
also be a
Yeah.
good Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah.
Is the thing, like a movie like Top Gun, right? Could be my favorite movie. I
There's
enjoy
dudes
Top Gun
playing
a lot more.
volleyball. There's leather jackets.
But I also just think that
There's planes.
the logic of Top Gun makes more sense to me. Just the fact that like you have one guy who's really good at one thing, whereas like
Ethan Hunt's good at everything.
Ethan Hunt's good at.
I mean, to
everything.
be fair, he doesn't do the
This dude
hacking and
literally-
tech stuff.
This dude literally like would never have to stop at a red light.
No, never.
He just could just
Never.
fucking keep going.
Yeah,
right
he's
through.
too good at driving.
Yeah.
He's also an incredible sprinter, which that's become a meme too. Just Tom Cruise in general. Tom Cruise running is a meme.
Yeah.
Every movie he's in, he's just
he's running.
sprinting somewhere at one point.
I really enjoyed the helicopter scene.
Yeah, it's awesome.
What do you feel about like A-list actors, like someone like Tom Cruise doing their own stunts?
If they want to do it, do it. Like,
Right.
I mean, I guess what's the backside of it is like you risk halting production if you get hurt.
which happened on the set
Yeah.
of this because he fucked up his ankle.
He hurt
right?
his ankle or back. I don't remember.
I thought it was in the scene where he's jumping from building to building.
I think
and then
probably.
he fucked up his ankle. I don't know.
I mean, like there's something about dudes who do their own stunts that I admire.
Mm-hmm.
I think it's cool.
I think that there's like a visual aspect that's better. That's
Mhm.
a
'Cause
huge pro because
you can do
on,
stuff.
on those helicopter scenes, like
You
you,
can
can tell
yeah.
that it's fucking him.
Yeah.
Like that he's hanging off this.
Yeah,
fucking
you can do
helicopter.
stuff in
That's
terms
insane.
of camera work where you don't have to hide that it's not the actor doing
Right.
the thing. Yeah.
Right, and it's really impressive, and it immerses you in the experience a lot more. But there, I think it might have been Danny Trejo who said this. He was like, "No, I don't do my own stunts." He's like, "There's people that's their job to."
But
do
at the same time, like, I'm not going to sit here and say a great stunt person couldn't also be a great actor, or vice versa. You know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Donald Glover can be a rapper and an actor.
Mm-hmm.
Tom Cruise can be a stuntman and an actor.
And a rapper.
I'm sure he could. He's a talented guy.
He did have that one dance sequence at the end, Tropic Thunder.
That's true. He's amazing in Tropic Thunder. He's amazing in Tropic Thunder.
So fucking. Yeah, I mean, I legit think that this is probably the best Mission Impossible movie.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm not sure if I like the helicopter sequence as much as I like the big action sequence in Rogue Nation.
Remind me of that one.
So it's the one where he has to go into the fucking internal cooling system.
Yes,
it's
that's what I
it's
thought.
a water-filled
Yes,
room.
That's a really cool one.
It's fucking really
And
dope.
it's like,
I enjoyed
it's
that one.
more like contained. It's less shots of two things chasing each other
Right.
kind of repeatedly. You see a lot of shots of like, here's the helicopter chasing the helicopter, and here it
Right.
is again. But there's also like awesome stuff. Like here's Tom Cruise trying to ram the helicopter with his, or like he tries to drop the payload on the, like there's some really cool stuff visually with the helicopter stuff. But there's something about like the contained and mission focused thing of the Rogue Nation set
But like
piece.
literally like trying to retrieve information is like something that's very Mission Impossible, and that's something that like the Rogue Nation, that big action sequence
what?
instead of
I wish Jeremy Renner was still in these movies. I really liked Jeremy Renner's character in Rogue
Right.
Nation and in Ghost Protocol.
right.
I really liked Jeremy Renner. I thought he was a good, and like there's something I really love. It's the Jack Ryan effect. It's like John Krasinski's Jack Ryan on the show that came out last year. I really liked the first season. But the character of Jack Ryan from the novels, his whole thing is that he's an analyst. He's not a field agent. And there's something I really love about when somebody does it in a movie right. I think Jeremy Renner does a good job of that in the Mission Impossible movies.
Okay. You know that he has like some like crazy high IQ. He's supposed to be like a
Jeremy
genius.
Renner?
Yeah.
He's also a very good singer.
Really?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Just released like an album.
An album?
Yeah, I'm
What
pretty
kind
sure,
of music
yeah.
does he make?
I don't know. I haven't listened to it. I've heard him sing stuff on like
Is it
late
just
night
like
shows though.
Is it just like an hour and a half of
Like-
him going bum 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 bum?
No,
bum,
like
bum,
he
bum.
did like he was on one of the late night shows. I think it was Fallon, and he did like the Ballad of Hawkeye, and he like played piano and he sang like a really sad song about how everyone overlooks him because all he does is shoot bow and arrow.
Nice.
Yeah, he's a really good singer. He's a talented dude.
You know my favorite thing about Fallout?
What
Like, and it was the one thing that really appealed me.
is it? Ving
Appeal-
Rhames?
that really appealed to me from the trailer was that that little part where was it what's his name, the bad guy with the beard, he had the
Lane.
glasses, Lane. So he has his little like monologue,
The monologue
that goes throughout the trailer.
That monologue was when this movie came out, 2017. That monologue was like the 2016 version of the song that plays during the new Terminator trailer to me. It was just something I saw so much and had this sort of like ambiance to it
Right.
that I was like, I just need to like, can I just see this in the movie, please?
Yeah. But I really enjoyed it when I saw the trailer, and I was like, "That's really cool."
It's
Like,
a really good, it's a
So
really
is this
cool
that
monologue.
quote?
Yeah.
Yeah,
And that
he-
dude's voice is really interesting.
yeah, but he says you're going to see the fallout of your good intentions.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, that's fucking cool.
Yeah.
That's really interesting. And it's like kind of like a through line throughout the entire movie, though.
Yeah,
because
which
like,
is something I really enjoyed, and I think added to the character of Ethan
it's
to me a
really
little bit.
they
They gave
do a
Ethan
lot of
Hunt
it.
this Captain America syndrome
Yeah.
that I don't think I ever really realized he had.
Right.
Because I mean, that's like one of the famous divides of the Avengers in the movies is Steve's adamancy of we don't trade lives. He values one life as much as he values a million lives, and that's something that I never that never occurred to me that was in Ethan Hunt's psychology. right, as a character.
Right.
But then Alec Baldwin, like in the beginning of the movie, he's like, I know that you think of that as your weakness, but I think of it as your strength. And I was like, I never even realized it was something he cared about, but
Right.
it's cool. I like it. It's interesting.
Yeah.
Plus, you're wrong because Ving Rhames should be your favorite part of the movie.
Ving Rhames is the best part.
Thamo Ethan.
What's your Ving Rhames?
There's something like so. Ving Rhames brings a presence to the movie that like makes you feel comfortable. You know what I mean? He brings a safety and a comfort feeling to the movie to me, and it really shines through in the scene, the bomb scene,
Right.
when him and Michelle Monaghan are there, and it's just like really sweet. It's just like really sweet scene in the middle of this huge action set piece of the helicopter scene and Simon Pegg almost getting fucking murdered by Lane, and then Rebecca Ferguson say like there's that kind of cool fight scene there, and then at the same time it's just Ving Rhames and Michelle Monaghan just kind of being friends,
Right.
and I really like it.
Yeah. When did Simon Pegg start coming in? Was that Ghost Protocol?
It was either 3 or 4.
Right.
It was either Mission Impossible 3 or Mission Impossible Ghost Protocol.
Michelle Monaghan came in 3, I think. That
Yes.
was like
they
that was the big.
they introduced Michelle Monaghan as his wife.
Yeah.
They were like he quit and got married.
Mhm.
But that's another thing. I thought like I was looking at the old movies of the character of Ethan Hunt that I think is interesting. Besides this like Captain America syndrome, I think is cool. He has this thing where he got out of the game, as they keep calling it or whatever, and he just felt so guilty whenever anything bad happened that he felt like it was his fault and that he could have been out there saving the world. And it's just like an interesting idea to me.
Mm-hmm.
It's like kind of ridiculous. It's super egotistical. It's like a huge amount of hubris to give someone,
Yeah.
but I kind of like it.
Yeah. Although, if I could fucking jump from one helicopter to the next and shit like that.
Well, he
I'd
doesn't
probably
jump
have-
from one helicopter to the other. He climbs up the payload,
You're right.
gets in, which I was watching that scene last night and I was like, fuck that. Like, that's fucking insane.
You're right. He didn't
Then
do that.
he survives
That
the
would be
helicopter
ridiculous.
crash. Well, the thing is like being honest, you saw it for the first time last night. When you saw him climbing up into the first helicopter, you assumed he was going to jump into the other helicopter, didn't you?
I didn't like. I was sitting there trying to rack my brain over how he was going to get into the other helicopter.
Yeah.
I
You
didn't
assumed he was going to make some level of transfer
No,
from one helicopter
I
to
didn't.
the other.
I didn't.
You didn't.
no. I
Interesting.
assumed that he had to get there, or like I assumed that he had to somehow get. But I was like, is he going to crash it? Is he going to crash his helicopter into another one? I was like, is he going to do some weird thing with the payload?
Yeah,
And then
which he tried.
Which yeah,
He missed.
and like I thought that he might like fucking try to like go fishing, you know, with the fucking payload, and then try to hook the other helicopter onto the
Oh,
line.
okay, yeah. And
I
then
thought he was going to do that.
Carry that helicopter with his helicopter?
Yeah.
And then
some shit
then
like that.
put it on autopilot and climb down the payload.
Yeah.
That would be crazy. Yeah, that set piece is super cool.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it was a fun scene for sure.
And then they have that. I think the way they do the fight at the end after the helicopters crash, and they're doing like the almost comically over the top. The MacGuffin he needs is going to fall off the cliff thing.
Right.
They have like a good short fight with him and Henry Cavill, because there's like a part of you that's like, he couldn't beat Henry Cavill in a fight. You know what I mean? Like if they were just have a knockdown brawl out fight, Henry Cavill would win.
Mm-hmm.
But they take it to this next level where they start falling down the gap. Like it just keeps getting more and more ridiculous. The helicopters fall through they crash and then they fall down that weird hole. And then
ravine.
The little
Yeah.
ravine, and then they fall down, and then they have a short fight, and then they both fall off the cliff, and they just keep like layering this scene on top of itself. It's just really fun.
Yeah. Yeah. I definitely enjoyed that helicopter scene. Fucking and that the cliff shit. All of that cliff shit is like a direct homage to the first Mission Impossible, right? Because that was like the intro to the Mission.
Yeah,
he, like,
him
climbs up the
climbing,
cliff.
free climbing, right?
Yeah. He free climbs up the cliff, and then he gets the glasses and. I like the different ways that they introduce the missions, like the different kind of, and in Rogue Nation it was really good because
They always have a cool, yeah. So like in this one, there's the little recorder that they're like, this is going to self-destruct in 5 seconds, and it's just like some gas.
So somebody shows up where he lives, and they do the code back and forth.
Yeah.
And it was really cool, this one, because he says like, and then what does the warrior do? And then fucking Tom Cruise steps into the light, and he's like, I am the storm.
I am the storm.
It's
It
like,
was,
it was cool. Yeah.
Yeah. And then there's the one.
But he opens up the package, and it was a copy of the Odyssey, and then he opens up the Odyssey. and
Rogue
it's a
Nation
recording.
is. How does that one start?
So he walks into a jazz store, and then they have like a little code conversation about jazz music. Yeah. And then like the girl is just like an innocent girl or whatever.
And that's
But
when
then
he
she
gets
hands him a
attacked, right?
record. Huh? Yeah. So he
That
plays
girl's
the
in
record.
Star Wars, by the way.
Which one?
Her name's Hermione. Her real name.
Her real name's Hermione.
Her real name's
is she
Hermione.
named after Hermione Granger?
I doubt it. She's too old. She's like our age.
How long when did the first book come out?
95? 96? That'd be kind of weird because then, like, an adult at the time would have had to fall in love with the first Harry Potter book that much. Like, I feel like now girls are getting named Hermione, not then.
I mean, it depends, though.
When our generation has kids.
I think there's an argument to be had that, like, if you were like a hipster, you would be more likely, like, if it had just come out. And
Did
the movies
hipsters
weren't
exist
out
in the
yet,
'90s yet?
I think
I feel like they
I
didn't
think-
exist yet.
I think pretentiousness has always existed from the beginning of time. But that thing, you know, that like, well, like I have this little niche book that I really enjoy,
Yeah,
and it's got magic in
this
it.
niche
and then
book.
there's this like smart little.
There's this girl named Hermione.
Hermione. Hermione.
Imagine doing that, naming your daughter Hermione, because you think that's how you
out.
pronounce it.
That's definitely not as bad as naming your kid Khaleesi, though, right?
That's brutal. Wait till the media is over to decide whether or not you should name your kid after a character from the media. Like, if you want to name your kid Rob or John for Game of Thrones, it's fine. But it's a little dicey now. With first of all, Khaleesi is not a name. That's weird. Khaleesi is a title. But if you use Daenerys,
Yeah, sure, it's a title, but you can make that a name just
Yeah,
as
you
much
can.
as anything is a name.
you can. That's true. Fucking names are crazy now.
It's
Who
just
cares?
a sound.
It's just a sound with which we identify ourselves. All right, I want to talk about this other action movie idea thing because I think it's interesting. Each of the 4 franchises I mentioned before have their own. I would argue they all belong in the same umbrella of movie, right?
Right.
Fast and Furious, Mission Impossible, the Bourne movies, the James Bond movies, right?
If I don't know, I feel like the Bourne Identity movies are kind of like separate from that a little bit.
It's just Mission Impossible, but he doesn't have his memory.
I think it's more than that, dude.
It's just there's more substance to them. They're
think that there's more
consistently better
substance.
movies. The Bourne movies.
I would agree. I haven't seen the ones with Jeremy Renner.
There's only one.
There's only one.
It's
with
not
Jeremy
that
Renner.
good, but I really like it.
And then they came.
Does that
and
make
then-
sense?
And then Matt Damon came back.
We saw that in the theaters. Remember, Jason Bourne. We saw in the movie theater. It had
saw that?
Yes, it had that cool car chase scene where they filmed it in a really interesting way, and I can't remember how they did it. But we talked about it after we saw it. I'm positive. 95% positive.
I don't remember seeing that movie.
Anyway, what's her name? Really phones it in. Julia Stiles phones it in super hard in that movie.
I don't think I saw.
Anyway,
that
it's not that good. So like, if you forgot it, I wouldn't be surprised.
one.
My God, that's Jason Bourne. Every movie, you need that line.
I don't think
You wouldn't put them
That-
under the same umbrella of like tentpole action movie?
they are different. Like what you said.
Well, that's kind of
right?
what I want to talk
The
about is the
substance thing.
differences between
is
them.
is the substance thing, right?
Yeah.
And even like Fast and Furious evolved into a different thing. Like Mission Impossible was kind of always this thing.
Yeah.
Right? It was kind of always the same.
That's part of the
kind
point
movie.
I'm trying to make is they're like
Right.
they fall under an umbrella of similarity, but then they have their own. It's like, I mean, you started your zoology class, classification, right? They're in the same kingdom, family, class, order, family, genus, species. They're in like the same family, but not the same genus.
I think that the Fast and Furious movies and the Mission Impossible films, and I guess even to an extent the James Bond ones, like they kind of, but even James Bond, like I feel like there's more.
James Bond and Jason Bourne maybe have a bit more spycraft to them than action, than sort of like a generic action stuff, maybe.
Yeah.
Is that where
sure,
your
well,
hitch up is hitching your get up is? I knew I could figure that phrase out.
Hitch-
Is that I don't even know if that's how does that phrase go?
I hope I don't have any hitches in my get up. I'm not. Do I
that's
have
how
a
it
get
works.
up?
Everybody's got to get up.
Everybody's got to get up.
Yeah, everybody's got their own get up.
Everybody's got to get up. Sounds like a beginning of an '80s movie or '80s song. Yeah. Okay. So what's your point? So like
I just think it's interesting that like those were like I was watching Mission Impossible last night and I was like thinking about similar movies, but like the distinctions they make to make themselves different from each other, right? Mission Impossible's thing, I think, like the defining feature of Mission Impossible movies are its set pieces.
Okay.
They go out of their way to come up with really elaborate, big, exciting action set pieces. More like above and beyond, I think, what other action movies do. Does that make sense?
You don't think Fast and Furious?
Fast and Furious
has
is
that?
so like, but I feel like the difference there is that Mission Impossible at least tries to make you think it could be real. Fast and Furious gave up on that.
Right.
They
It's
gave up
completely
on
ridiculous.
any idea that these are real human
It's
beings.
completely ridiculous.
It's
yeah.
completely insane, the things they do. In the most recent movie, The Rock literally holds a helicopter to a truck. It's insane.
Yeah, I can understand that. They do have a lot of similarities. Sorry about that.
I actually really want to revisit the Bourne movies. Like the original trilogy.
I mean, yeah, I would have to see them again, but I
Yeah.
don't think that they're as much like I feel like they're much more based and
They're more like thrillers.
than they
Yeah.
are straight up action
That's
films.
probably true.
Yeah. They're just
But
much
like,
more grounded.
but Jason
in reality.
Bourne is an action hero, right? Like if you were to think of like great American action heroes in movies, you would put Jason Bourne on that list.
But yeah, like I like you said, I don't think that it is an action movie first.
It's more of like a thriller.
Probably.
Okay, that's cool.
Yeah.
I have to rewatch them. I really want to. I think they're all on streaming services right now.
Mm.
All the original ones. Yeah, the Jeremy Renner one, not very good. I really like it. Also, you get Oscar Isaac before he was Oscar Isaac in that movie. Like pre-famous Oscar Isaac is in that movie for a little bit. Jeremy Renner is very good in that movie. He kind of carries it, but like the rest of the movie, kind of weak.
Has Jeremy Renner been in anything that's like not like a mainstream action movie?
In his life,
Yeah.
he has to have been.
Look up Jeremy
I'm
Renner.
going to look at his IMDb, but there's no way that he's never not been in a movie.
I
Wasn't
understand
he in
that,
like
but-
The Hurt Locker?
Oh yeah, he was in
Yeah,
the
he was in The
Hurt
Hurt Locker. He was in The
Yeah,
Town.
did he win an Oscar for Hurt Locker? Or
He was
did
definitely nominated.
Hurt Locker won the Oscar?
He
But
was
I think he was
nominated?
nominated for an,
Best performance by an actor in a supporting role, The Town. Best supporting by an actor in a
The
leading role,
Town.
Hurt
Oh
Locker.
man, yeah.
Dude, he got Oscar nominee 2 years in a row for those movies.
The
Good
Town
work.
and for
Hurt Locker and then The Town. Good
Nice.
work, Jeremy Renner. Jeremy Renner's fucking awesome, dude.
Yeah,
He was in Wind River.
I haven't seen that.
He was in Tag. Does that count?
Tag definitely.
Tag has a Fast and Furious level of
It does.
unbelievability
It
to it,
does.
though. That's a good movie. I like that movie a lot. He was in
he's-
Arrival. He was in Arrival. Come on, dude.
That's
What
right.
are you doing?
I had to think about it.
Fucking
Sorry,
disrespecting Jeremy
I'm
Renner.
not I didn't say that he wasn't. I'm saying I couldn't think of any.
American Hustle. Do you want to keep going?
Who was he in American? Oh, was he like
He's-
one of the politicians?
Yes, he's the politician. Yes. He's like the good guy. He's like the dude that like
He's super nice.
yeah.
Yeah.
And like I think there's like a through line of that movie that's like, is he actually a good guy or is he just pretending? And then by the end of the movie, like, oh yeah, he's actually a good dude. I think. Remember he had some weird hair. He had like a flip.
Oh, comb over?
No,
He didn't have a comb over?
like comb over implies you're balding, right?
Yeah.
So no.
No.
He had like a lot of hair and it like flipped. I don't know how to explain it.
Christian Bale had the comb over.
Yeah, Christian Bale was looking
Had-
fucking rough in that
Yeah.
movie.
Massive comb over.
All right. Do you have any other Mission Impossible thoughts?
Nope.
Are you excited for the next?
7 and 8?
Yeah,
Sure.
it's that kind of movie where you're just like, if a Mission Impossible movie comes out, I'll go see it.
I mean, I don't have to go see it in theaters.
I feel like it's better in theaters, man.
Sure, everything's better in theaters,
Yeah.
but
Dude,
depending on the audience, I
the
guess.
more movies we see, the more efficient we're being with our money. You know what I'm saying? because we have the AMC thing.
I guess.
So like, I'm definitely gonna go see it in theaters.
Depends on how many snacks you get.
True, but
If
even then, like, if you get some snacks, you build up rewards points, and then you get free snacks.
Mm-hmm.
We're sponsored by AMC, apparently. What's next week? Oh, you're gonna be excited for next week. I gotta watch 2 movies.
I am fucking 1,000 times more excited
Obviously,
that this episode's gonna happen.
Yep.
Then
We're doing it. I figured,
It Chapter 1 and Chapter 2.
Yeah, we'll do both.
People might get confused.
I
if
will
you just say we're doing it.
Yeah, we're doing it. I will find It Chapter 1, and then we will go see It Chapter 2 when it comes out.
Uh-huh.
We will talk about them both. I will listen. Here's my assumption. I'm going to watch them and be like, "Those are good movies. Cool."
Mm-hmm.
That's what I expect my reaction to be.
You think you're gonna be?
I don't think I'm going to be like,
those...
"Holy shit!"
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that you're gonna like them more than you liked Midsummer, but you're gonna be like, these aren't as well crafted as Midsummer, because that's just kind of the truth. I would assume that.
I
love Midsummer.
Like, I think Midsummer is great, but
like
I don't know if I really like it.
I like Midsummer more than It, but it's also like, I could see you definitely liking It more than.
Well, there's like a Stranger Things factor to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
There's more friendship. There's more healthy relationships.
I love friendship. There's a lot of unhealthy relationships in Midsummer. Holy dude, I forgot to tell you, one of these dudes I work with, we were talking about Midsummer, and he was like, I like convinced him to go see it, and he like came in the next time I saw him at work, and he was like, I went and saw Midsummer, but I took an edible before.
Oh.
And he was like, it fucked me up, and I was like, oh, that was a bad mistake. Like, you should do that like maybe the second time you see it.
Yeah, maybe.
And then like he came in this week and he's like, I went and saw Midsummer again because it's so crazy.
Yeah,
it's a wild movie.
I was listening to the fucking score the other day, just like driving my car and stuff, and I was like writing while I was driving, like not physically writing.
That's
but, like,
dangerous. Don't do that.
But like in my head, I was like trying to think of like the short story that I'm trying to write right now, and I was listening to the Midsummer soundtrack, and there's a part where it gets to the really awful thing that happens, and you hear Florence Pugh's screaming.
Yeah.
And it's like just at the beginning of, it's not the entirety of like what you hear in the film, right? Of her screaming, but it's just like a little clip. Like you just hear a little bit of it, and then it goes into that song, and it's so fucking haunting, dude.
It's
like
up.
Completely fucking immaterial.
Yeah,
it's like I'm like, this is just as scary as fucking any creature that you could see on in a movie, and all you're doing is.
I think there's something that's more scary about that than a creature, because there's a level of like potential realness to it. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like if you see a spooky creature, there's like a part of you that understands it's not real.
Yeah.
But when you see that, you're like, oh,
you understand
God.
that it could happen.
The depths of like awfulness that humanity can stoop to are very, very low.
Yeah.
That being said, we will be doing It next week. There's a poll up for the week after. Christopher Nolan poll, Inception, Interstellar. We will be doing one of the above. I'm excited for that too. I haven't rewatched either of those in a long time. I don't know if we're going to dock it or if our dreams are going to be our reality. For those not watching on YouTube, Chris is making a really weird face right now, just like nodding. I think that's it. Hit us up on the socials, chrismichaelstott.com. Read Chris's scripts. Chris Michael Stott on Instagram. Find me, Davinwell25, Twitter and Instagram. The show, The Chris and Kyle Show. On Facebook, on YouTube, on all podcasting platforms, on Instagram. tcaks pod on Twitter. Find the poll on Facebook and Twitter. This has been it for Mission Impossible Fallout. This podcast will self-destruct in 5 seconds. We out.
We out. Stay weird.